episode of Ian is a Weirdo or Ian is Weird, depending on where you're watching this. I should have a very special guest very soon. Um, the one and only Crystal Hook That Yarn. So I'm super excited about that. We're just going to keep it easy breezy, fun, lighthearted, simple today. It's most of you know I've taken a little bit of a step back from YouTube, especially lives, because it's just been really hard for me with everything going on upstairs. And for me, it's important to kind of take care of myself before throwing myself to the wolves. So there was a day that I recorded like 5 videos like in the middle of the night and put them on my other channel. So if you're wondering what I've been doing, I did post those videos. But then I just have it took so much steam out of me, and I was in like the negative spoon category um, that I just didn't have energy until today. And even now, I don't even know if I have energy to make this like any particular length live. We're just gonna have fun with it. I have a bunch of orders that I need to get done, and it's so much easier for me to get stuff done when I am in front of the camera talking to you all. Um, Otherwise, I tend to get distracted by like literally everything and anything. So we're gonna keep it light and easy breezy, as this says. If you're wondering what that cracking noise is, it's one of my fidgets. It's one of my favorite ones because it's kind of like cracking your knuckles like over and over again, which is one of my favorite things to do. So let me just get my materials out. So I'm currently working on a 5-inch cream colored packer. I think I have maybe 3 or 4 orders in. I know I had one come in, but I already had that finished and available for one of my pride bags. The silver and rainbow one, I was like, I know for a fact this one is going to go first. Hi, Crystal.
Hi. Let me load you up. Thanks for having me up.
Of course, it's a pretty high demand position to be in, so I'm glad you picked it. Oh my gosh, that hat is so cute on you.
It's knitted. Okay, words. It's machine knitted.
Hmm.
Adrian gave it to me.
Oh, nice. I like it. It looks a little
I like it
slouchy, which
too.
I like.
Hmm.
Looks a little bit slouchy, which I like.
My ball.
It's so hard to find hats that and I know I don't have to tell you this, but like when you have like a lot of hair, it's just like it's so hard to find like a hat that like works. That doesn't either like squish everything down
It's
and like
true.
make it just a horrific nightmare, or just will fit on it in the first place.
Yeah, my hair tends to like billow out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So this one sits nicely. I was
Yeah,
surprised. I was like, oh, I actually really like this
it's very cute.
mohair.
I like the stretch for it being like machine knitted. Like it seems like a really nice fit on you. Because like sometimes like with, I mean, not that machine knitted like doesn't fit on me, but like they generally like generally they would like push down on my hair if I had more in more places. I have a lot on the top of my head, but not really anywhere else, so it's
I get
fine.
what you mean, though. I don't. Yeah, I like when hats kind of sit back a little bit,
Hmm.
and then I love hoods and
Mm.
maybe headbands. I don't wear a lot of like beanie type hats, only because you know I'm not trying to. Anyways,
No, I understand. Yeah, I saw this thing, and so it was like a clip from when the person who made this, um, I think like tried to sell it on Shark Tank. I don't really know what happened on Shark Tank, whether they bought it or not, but it was a hoodie with like an extra large hood and like not like crazy big, but like big enough for people with curly hair. And then it was like silk lined or satin lined, so it wouldn't cause
Ooh,
any more frizz. I was like, that is genius.
that's smart. Sorry, just like thinking about it. Because they say that you should sleep with silk pillows.
Hmm.
Like, that's too high an order for me, but
I
they
do.
say. You do?
Yeah, well, I have like a satin pillowcase from Amazon.
Satin.
Yeah,
You sit
yeah.
on
I'm
it
not
and you
using like
lie
the finest
down.
silk. I'm just
It's
using
Egyptian silk. Like,
yeah. It's spun by like worms that only come out like every like 30 years, and you know. No, the hardest problem for me is that because I dye my hair so much, and a lot of the colors I use like bleed, and apparently I'm just sweating in my sleep all the time. I don't know what that's about. But my color bleeds into my pillowcase quite a bit, and so it's hard to find the right color
sorry.
that will like not show every single color I've ever dyed my hair.
Yeah.
So I got the last one I got that I've had for a while, has it's white, but it has like a pattern on it. So I was hoping that would break it up, which it does kind of, but like because I was like yellow, now I'm green for so long, it just kind of looks gross.
Yeah,
So
that happens. It's your hair.
I think I might go with a black pillow next. I don't know, but I feel like that also shows like drool stains and stuff. Like if I'm just
Like
gonna
the white jewel stains. Like, why are you jewel?
yeah, yeah, or like any other bodily fluids that just, which sounds extra gross to say out loud, but like
It's life. It's life.
yeah.
No, yeah.
So I'm like, maybe black is not the answer. Maybe a pattern is, but so I have my eye on one that I'm gonna get next. But I'm so like, do I need it? No. So it just stays in my cart forever. I put in my save for later, then I put it in my cart, and then I put in my save for later.
Is it like a splurgy type thing, or you just want it
I mean,
matching?
like, really neither. um, I mean, like, I like so my wife and I have two different size pillows. Like, I didn't know my pillow that like I've had for a really long time, which apparently is very gross. It's a king size, but now I'm used to like a king size pillow. We only have a queen bed, so she's always griping at me about like taking up more than half of my side of
Pillows taking over.
the bed. But then she has like a standard size pillow, so she so we would have to order. You can't just like order like a any set of two. They have to like come individually and stuff. But I'm also always like only like me and my wife see the pillow, and if like it's not like a necessity, so I put it off all the time.
But it's comfy.
Oh
I'm,
no, my little pumpkin tray with all my stitch markers fell over.
I'm so. I mean, I suppose they say that for curly hair and stuff, you're supposed to sleep with something over it to protect it. I've never done that because it leads to like damage
Yeah,
hair follicles and whatnot. But
yeah.
I don't
I
care. I
I
think
like
it's crazy.
it depends on like what my needs are, because like I toss and turn a lot in my sleep. So like if I when I was going out into the world or gave a shit what people thought about my hair, if I like styled it, like put some gel in it, and I didn't want to wake up with it like basically standing straight up, I would use like a satin like sleep cap thing. So like you can do that instead of like getting a special pillowcase. Um, just Yeah, I think the first one I bought, I think, was a kid size, and I was like, it's squeezing my brain out. Like, and the band was so tight. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awful. again, it was like, oh, I paid for it, so I should just use it. And then one day I was like, no, this is just a bad idea. I
This
should just,
is pain. This is pain.
yeah. You're like trying to go to sleep and you have like a vice around your head. You're like, no. So, speaking of things that happen in bed, so I got this new alarm clock, and so it's not in here. It's just the box it came in. I got it from Amazon because I was like, I need an alarm clock that's for like heavy, heavy sleepers because like literally nothing will wake me up. I'm still having a lot of sleep issues,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I need something that'll actually wake me up. So this is an alarm clock that, in addition to being a really loud alarm clock, also has this like, I don't know if you can see it, this like disc, and you put
Mm.
it under your mattress, and it like vibrates when your alarm goes off.
Ooh.
And I was like, because there are some that like roll on the floor, but like I was like, it's just gonna like my cat's gonna like play with it and turn it off or something like that. Um, so or like ones that like fly away, but I was like, let me try like the cheaper alternative. But I have been
I
asleep.
think like try to sell it.
Oh god.
Sorry, that was me.
Okay. um, but I've only been asleep with the alarm clock having gone off once because like my sleep schedule is so weird, and it didn't wake me up. So I'm trying to
Didn't work.
no.
It's just a
I
light
had also
massage
like
or something.
I had gone like more than like 24 hours without sleep, which is like a sign of like how bad my sleep is because that's like not my or most people's norm. Um, and it didn't wake me up because I was like 2 hours into sleep. I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, and my body was like, no, you need like a full sleep. So
Your
I'm like,
body,
maybe
like,
it's not
no.
the machine's fault. It's just
Your body knows what it needed. Of
yeah,
what sleep is it?
yeah. But then like as soon like the minute I bought it, because also it says Surface LED clock with bed shaker, and I don't know if you've heard the euphemism of bed shaking,
No.
but usually it refers to activities done with two or more people. So the minute I read it, I was like, dear God, what if I buy this and like have like a wet dream or something?
Because it's vibrating your bed. Mean, I mean,
I'm like, that would be like the most awkward like Amazon return ever.
or a great Amazon review.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this is the best clock I've ever purchased.
I wake up happy and refreshed every morning. It's awesome.
I feel less angry. Like, I don't know.
All the tension in my shoulders is gone. No headaches. Like, oh
I
my
stop
gosh.
clenching my jaw at night. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
That's so funny. Yeah. I just like I wanted something that would be like not as annoying in my life. And then I've tried like apps on my phone where like you have to do like math or like put letters in order or like something like that.
Oh yeah, that's annoying though.
And like yeah, one it makes me like I don't wake up happy, which I know might be hard to believe because I'm like I have such a sunshiny disposition. But um but like I wake up like pretty much angry, and
Then
no
you watch
one's
the
chatted,
porn.
right? Like my restream isn't being foolish.
Let's see. It's probably because maybe. Well, I don't know. It's Saturday.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. I just like I hate when I like ugh, stop, stop. Okay.
Hi,
um,
Ashley.
mhm.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Are you're seeing comments?
I see comment. Yeah, you have a comment on the right hand side. No.
No, I don't. Oh wait, now I do. Okay. Hey, moms. Hey, Ashley. Okay. Well, okay. Now it's working. We'll just pretend it wasn't working before, and there were plenty of comments.
It's okay.
No, I know. Like when you take a break from YouTube, it's like extra, like getting back on like the YouTube algorithm is like pretty challenging. I know that from experience, so I'm
No, I
trying
do
not to like
too. I know
have
from
as much of
experience
like
too.
um as long of a break and just kind of take like little moments to be on live. I'm so sweaty. Um, I'm here, Ashley. Crystal always makes me laugh and always makes me feel better. So
I'm here too. I'm like just creating stuff. I feel like art is such a good outlet for me because I don't know, it just makes me happy to see beautiful things surrounding me, if that makes sense, you know? So
definitely,
it really helps me out.
yeah. It's so like therapeutic to like do stuff with your hands as well.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a dopamine release when you. I need that. Serotonin, dopamine, please. Thank you.
Yeah, any positive chemicals. Oh my god, I had like, oh man, I know I was like, keep it light, keep it easy, breezy. But I had a horrible day yesterday, which if you're in Army of Weirdos, you might have seen my post. But like, so I was supposed to start, like, I had a consultation for this new type of therapy, and like, so my doctor asked me if I was interested in it, and I was like, well, I know it's like FDA approved for depression. Is it FDA like, or like, do they do it for people with bipolar? Because as a general rule, if it's good for depression, it's terrible for bipolar because it can push you into like mania. And so she was like, well, I've seen some people with bipolar have really good results with this. And I was like, okay, yeah, like I'm not in any position to be like, no, I'm not going to give that a shot. Like, I'm trying to be like open minded. So I schedule with the people. They know I have bipolar, right? And like there's like two main types of bipolar, bipolar 1 and bipolar 2. Um one is like the one that's categorized by having mania. The other one is like you kind of have like a hypomania, like a lesser in, intense like episode or like a shorter period of time. And so like I didn't specify which type of bipolar I had. I just asked like, hey, is this a treatment that you offer bipolar people? And they're like, absolutely, yeah, come in for your consultation. The consultation's free, like, and then we'll see if your insurance covers it. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then so I had to have my mom drive me because I'm an adult. No, I'd have my mom drive me because I was so depressed. I was like, I shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. Like, I shouldn't. And, um, like, because your motor skills get like so slow when you're like this depressed. I was like, I might like rear end someone or something, and I don't want to be like dangerous to anyone else on the road. So, so, I get into it. We start talking about the therapy with the person doing the consultation, and I was like, "Yeah, you probably know I have bipolar, because she was talking about like depression, and I was like, I mentioned bipolar, and she was like, "Well, like, as long as you have bipolar 2, the one I don't have," she was like, "most doctors will do it for you, and insurance can cover it. But if you have bipolar 1, the one I do have," she was like, "no doctor here will touch you." And I was like, "Motherfucker." I was,
So, like, they didn't mention this beforehand. It would have been nice,
no.
right?
And she told me, so like, you know, like apparently they've done this to other people with bipolar 1. And like, the thing is, so like the schedulers get paid for each consultation they get booked.
Mm.
They have financial incentive to tell you that they can do it regardless. And I was like, I know it's too late for me, but like, please, like, tell your supervisor or something. Like, please don't let this happen to other people and like kick them while they're down.
Right.
And I was just like, I mean, at least it didn't go like all the way through the consultation. And then it was like, oh, actually, you can't. So I mean, I'm glad we got it out of the way, but I had to drive like 30 minutes just to be told that like I didn't have to come in at all. So I was like, I'm pretty heartbroken.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a rough day, but it does happen.
Yeah. It's understandable to be like, because it's like, okay, here's some hope, and then it's like snatched a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
Like, I get it.
yeah. And like my mom was trying to calm me down, but as usual, she's not great at it. She tried. I mean, like she tried. So I mean, better than nothing, right? But like, she was like, "Well, you didn't even know this treatment was gonna work," and I was like, "Well, that's not the point. If there's any like possibility, like I came because I like and did it because there was any possibility it might work for me." I like I'm to the point in my like treatment where like I don't expect anything. Like I can't be hopeful, but I also can't be like I can't go into it negatively and be like this isn't gonna work for me and I shouldn't do this because like that's just putting me in like a bad headspace. So I'm just like I'll be open minded. I'll give it a try, and then we can see if it actually works. And I think that's like for me that seems reasonable to do. Um, and uh, but yeah, she was like, "You don't even know if it was gonna work," and I was like, "Not the point." I
Yeah.
had like a total like revert to teenager, like I'm mad at you. I'm like, "Mom, you're saying the wrong thing," because I'm very
Trying
mature.
to help said the wrong thing. But, like, yeah, it's that hope that was there. I get that, you know? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty dishonest of them to be bringing people in and not having, like, that stated beforehand. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like the fact that like I mean I am glad for because like I pretty much can't do anything medical without insurance paying for it. Like I don't have the means to cover anything really without insurance.
Yeah.
And which I don't know most people who do, especially for like
Yeah.
weird therapies like the one I was coming in for. And
Yeah. What's
so
the point of insurance? You know what I mean?
yeah, like there's a reason why you pay so much for it. Um, but like Um, even if insurance didn't cover it, but a doctor would see me, like I wouldn't have been able to afford it. And I was very specific about insurance being able to cover it. And like the consultation people were like, "Yeah, we'll run your insurance and see," but like no one asked like, "Hey, this if you're bipolar, do you have this diagnosis or this diagnosis?"
Yeah.
And like
Especially if it's one of the ruling out factors of it, you know?
yeah, I was like, that person should not make money off of my suffering. Like if I'm being frank, like I don't want to snatch money out of anyone's wallet, but that person in particular, I want to snatch that money right back because like that's just that's dishonest, misleading, just like kick someone while they're down. So it is what it is, but it did suck at the time,
Yeah,
especially.
definitely.
I am doing like I'm doing so much laundry right now. Um, I'm super bad about like leaving my stuff in the washer after I washed it to like a while ago, and like
No, love,
not moving things quickly enough into the dryer. So I'm having to like go through like all my clothes and just like do like a white vinegar wash and then do another wash, and it's
I know what you mean. How are you, Ashley? Ashley commented again. I have YouTube open, so I'm able to see the comments before you see they come in.
yeah. Still working on another top. Ooh, tell us about it. Yeah, tell us what you're working on. On my other channel, I've been doing a lot of like knitting machine tutorials, which is cool because I never thought that I would be in any place where anyone would ever want to make anything I made on the knitting machine. Um,
Oh,
but like, because I was so bad at it, I'm still not great, but like now I can make like more things.
I
And
watched you put the yarn on the peg thing. I don't know what they're called. I don't have a knitting machine. But the are they teeth? What are they called? Those little pegs.
I think they're what are they called? I think peg is like a appropriate. I think on the box they say pin, but
Pin.
yeah,
But I watched you put the like yarn around the pins, and I'm like, wow, you're good.
it's really not. It's really not as deep as like it sounds. Like
I'm
really,
like,
you go like in front of one and behind one, and
you weren't moving your hand. You're just like, and it's on, and I'm like, cool,
yeah.
very good. So Ashley is making a bikini top.
Mm,
Hey,
very cool.
I like that.
So a while ago, I was talking about like what I wanted to do, like a lingerie type style, like just something that was like more fitted, but like gender affirming. And so I think I kind of figured out what I want to do. I might try to crochet at first, or I might just go straight to like the fabric. But I'm thinking, I'm like, those like chest harnesses that like some people wear that like have like a bar up here, not bar, well, sometimes it's bar, but like have a strap right here and then they go like around your arms. I think I'm gonna do something like that and then have like a panel right here and then have it like do corset lacing in the back so that you can pull it tighter and then use like a cotton or cotton blend so that it doesn't stretch that much. I can't decide if stretching is good or bad in this situation. Like I know my binder, like the part that covers my chest does not stretch. So,
I mean, prototypes being what they are, you could try two different fabrics, see what you like more, and wearability, and see what
hmm
works. The best is I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like I think I have to stop doing this because I want to measure it first,
hmm
or should I ply up the yarn? I don't know what to do with it.
You make such pretty yarn. I'm like, it never ceases to amaze me whenever you show me something you've made. I'm just like drooling over here, like,
Yarn. I
um.
should pick this up. I should finish it. It's almost done plying.
So I was trying to make. I was using your suggestion of like maybe trying to sell yarn that I made out of other yarn using the knitting machine.
Yeah.
Um, but I picked probably the worst possible yarn to do it with. And like while the end result looks amazing and I'm super happy with it, it's like very clunky in my machine. And so it's taking so long and I have so much yarn because I have two basically full cones of this like 4 weight yarn.
Hmm.
of unknown origin or yarn content.
Mystery yarn.
Yeah. That's the worst thing about getting like thrifted or like secondhand yarn is like you just sometimes it just doesn't come with a label, and so you're like, I don't even know where to like what to tell people to do with this yarn.
It's just mystery yarn. I don't know.
But is it way cheaper to do it like that? Yes.
Someone said hi to you.
Oh, hello, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal. It's weird saying my own name.
Yeah. I don't ever really have that problem, but I'm always, whenever you are both in the chat, I'm like, Crystal, Crystal. And I believe you both spell it the same way. So it's not like I could be like Crystal with a K or something like that. Like you spell it the exact same way.
DC.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. It's weird being called by my channel name too. I'm like, that's me. I don't know. What do I do with my hands? Oh my god.
You need a fidget.
That's what my crocheting is. I guess so.
I don't even like when people call me Crystal. It's the weird part. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll call you Divergent Crafter. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So we're just keeping it light, bright, breezy, easy breezy, beautiful cover girl and boy. Um. Yeah. Just because like I don't really have like the emotional bandwidth, or like even like the brain integrity. Like if someone starts like doing something in the chat that is like not light, bright, easy, breezy, beautiful, like I literally like I don't know what my face is gonna do. I don't know what my mouth is gonna do, and I don't really like being in that position. If I'm being honest.
I
Crystal and
mean,
I have had conversations about how we both kind of have a bit of a RBF situation.
I know I do.
And I know I shared it in Army of Weirdos after I sent it to you, Crystal, but like I feel like I'm always like surprised when I see pictures of me not expressing emotion, but then like looking like I'm trying to like light people on fire with my mind. I'm like, how does anyone Crystal is easy to put a hostile connotation to? Oh, I had no idea. I mean, I would have never. I don't put a hostile connotation to it, so that would have never occurred to me. But I'm sorry that that's what you experience.
Sorry. I'm rolling.
How dare you?
It sounds like my chair is farting. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
at
like,
least it's a chair.
or
Um,
so you think. No, just kidding. It's my
if you sounded like that, I would be like, I need you to get off this live and go to the emergency room right now. um, I did post an Army of Weirdos that I'm selling some like nicer yarn, and like most of you know that I don't generally use like anything other than like value yarn and like value cotton. But I got gifted some yarn from like my high school ex-girlfriend, like
sorry.
literally like 2 months ago, and I
This
was
is
like,
random.
this is so random. With the hard crisp and with the relaxed toe. Oh, I'm like, relaxed tail. No, no. I'm like, no, that's not what you said. My brain has not been able to like read right, like read correctly, like at all lately. I feel like I'm dealing with mashed potatoes for brains.
I'm sorry if my heater room is loud. I'm sorry.
Oh, no need to
Hear
apologize.
it?
You're good. I like honestly like half the time I use this laptop, I feel like when I like rewatch anything that I've recorded, I feel like it sounds like a jet engine is starting
That's what
because
it's
my
like.
laptop is old and overheats, and even though I have a relatively silent laptop fan underneath it now, like a stand with a fan, it's still loud. So
I'm
no
sorry.
need to apologize for any noise. Also, I'm right next to the laundry room, and I put dryer balls in
So
with
it's
my
like dum, 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 dum.
yeah. So it's like I put like a small child in there or
Oh, dum. Ah!
something. Wah. Yeah, but little I don't think I've talked about it in a long time, but my cat is like so my cat has this thing called pica, um, or Pika, I don't know, whatever. Not like Pikachu. But but where like and like even humans can have it where they like eat stuff compulsively that's not food. And like we found this out because like my cat got really sick one day like years ago and like stopped being able to eat, stopped, going to the bathroom, and we ended up having to take him to the vet, and like the only emergency vet that had like like a the ability to do like x-rays or whatever was closed because of course it was a weekend. And so they're like, well, we can wait and see when they open, or we can just do like an exploratory surgery. But like he had like been sick for so long, he had like a couple days of not eating. At that point, we're like, yeah, let's just go over the surgery. And like luckily they found it relatively easily. But he had eaten a used dryer sheet. You know, like when you use a dryer sheet, it like sticks to your clothes and you can't always like pick it out very easily. So like we found him like later on trying to eat a dryer sheet. And we're like, no, you fucking idiot, we're not paying for this again. And then he loves to try to eat like tulle, like anything that's like mesh. He just like wants to eat. So like I'm working on this like my quote unquote secret project, and it's got tulle ribbon, and like he like half the time I find it on the ground. Like luckily it's like sewn in, so it's not gonna come off. But I'm like, dude, just chill. But telling a cat to chill usually doesn't do anything because
That's
because
so
they're cats. But yeah, so now I have to use dryer balls, which I don't know if they actually do anything, if I'm being honest. But
me either. I don't know, but people swear by them. I guess
yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Increase. Put them in increase. Signature increase 3 times. Okay, why not?
yeah. When I was doing my when I was making my wedding dress, um, I did like an underskirt like bustle type thing with like I did like a rainbow of like uh, pre-cut like tulle like fabric or whatever, and so like I was measuring the strips because they'd be folded in half and they would be sewn. Just a bit of a weirdo like me. To my knowledge, he doesn't have. I mean, he's had blood work done, since and before, and nothing seems off. He's just got. So I think originally they thought pica had some relation with OCD, but apparently it doesn't. It's its own thing, but like
Mm,
just with like that compulsion to like eat that thing, but apparently it doesn't. But
maybe it's a texture thing. Like he
yeah,
likes. I wonder. This is stupid. I it's so stupid. I wonder what they taste like if you're gonna eat them. And it's so like if he completely ate one.
Yeah,
Like, they smell really good, but
yeah,
I bet the flavor's overwhelming.
yeah. Well, I'm glad the one he ate was like used, so at least like most of the chemicals were off of it. Probably,
Right.
I don't know, but like thank God he didn't try to eat like a fresh one that's like coated in
Right.
who knows what.
It's a good point. Some of them like it goes on the clothes, so it's less strong. Because those
Yeah.
things are pretty rough when you first touch them,
Hmm.
where it, and then afterward they're a little fluffier. So
Yeah.
maybe it's like the fluffy cotton
Yeah.
candy texture.
Yeah. Who knows? And
Kitty.
like apparently it can be with like anything that like a a creature or person with pica like they're addicted to. Like they could eat like toothpaste or something like that. Like it could be anything.
Yeah.
So but like so when I like was making the underskirt for my dress, like I was cutting strips of like, like it was pre-cut, so it was like on a spool, so it was like 6 inches wide, and then like they were 90-inch long strips, and I was cutting a bunch, and like the thing about tulle is it kind of like tends to like statically and like staticky, and then also just by the shape of the mesh kind of like stick to your clothes and stuff like
Hmm.
that, and stick to really whatever. Um, and so I was working on my dress at my in-laws' house, and my cat was there. But I had like managed to like lock him out of the room where I was working. But something had stuck to my like pajama pants that I was like sewing in, and I wasn't in the room, but at that time, but like my my mother-in-law was in the kitchen and she heard my cat like um and she was like, let me just go check what was going on. And so she comes around the corner and she sees about my cat having eaten some tulle. Um and literally only about 4 or 5 inches is sticking out of his mouth out of 90 inches. So she's got a like clown
Oh
car.
my gosh, that sounds
This
horrible.
I know it was probably like half in his stomach. It's so crazy.
Like the ring where she pulls the cable out of her mouth.
Oh no, I can't. That's
Sorry.
uh,
I'm
I have,
sorry.
I have two horror movies that I cannot. It's there.
Oh god.
That's what. Okay, we're gonna. Yep. I don't.
That was bad though.
Just gonna.
Let's talk about happy things. So you made your own wedding dress. That's really cool. I've been wanting to say that this whole time, but I'm like, haha, that's
So
so
I
cool.
actually, I actually saved a bunch of money by like, because I wanted a black wedding dress, and like this is before I transitioned, so like it made more sense that I wanted a dress at that time. Um, but like uh, I had a hard time finding anything like in bridal stores, and also I was like, I don't need it to like say that it's a wedding dress to like feel like it's a wedding dress.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, so I bought two dresses off of Amazon, because like I had no idea how they would fit. One of them, like, they took my custom measurements. Like, they asked for my custom measurements and made the dress that I got. So, um, that was the one I ended up not picking actually, but like it still it looked fine, but like it had like those like a bunch of like fake rose petals on it, and the petals just were kind of so sparse that it looked really cheap. So that's why I didn't pick that one. But so the dress that I ended up wearing was $75 off of Amazon, which is like, you know, for a wedding dress, that's like
It's a good deal.
basically nothing.
And if you felt comfortable wearing it and everything, that's pretty great.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go all out, and I'm gonna like. So I wanted to like have like I was thinking about like the rainbow like peeking through the black and how cool that might look. And then I bought probably like I spent more on like rhinestones, like Swarovski rhinestones, than I did on the dress, and I just like stoned the hell out of it. Um, and it became like a really expensive looking dress.
That's awesome. A custom.
So I can't take credit for making my own wedding dress, but I did edit my own wedding dress.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm
Still,
going to catch up with what Divergent said. As a kid, I had a chewing issue. No Barbie feet were safe, or paper, or straws. No, I mean that's totally. I think that's pretty normal for kids. Crystal might be able to speak to that more than
no.
I can, but like also like when people who are neurodivergent, like chewing for a lot of people is like a very like what's the like is a very like n-
Oral.
relatively normal like stim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember the first time I ever like encountered someone I knew who was on the spectrum was in treatment when I was 15, and she would like she would always have like a stress toy, but she would also like put it in her mouth and like bite it and like try to like rip it. And one time we were in like this group therapy session, things were very serious. And then all of a sudden, a stress ball just exploded everywhere in the middle of the session. And she was like, oops.
It's like I'm stressed. Boom.
Yeah. I actually just started seeing a therapist like specifically for being neurodivergent, and it's pretty cool. I'm not totally I'm not totally sure if it's the best fit of therapist, but it's cool to have someone who like we can spend time and actually focus on like these things that are really hard for me rather than like focusing on every other problem I have. Like I have another therapist just for that, which might sound excessive to pretty much anyone else, but I need all the therapy I can get, apparently. Blowing up in my mouth. It was so embarrassing. Yes. Yeah, I wasn't much of a chewer. Um, yeah. But like I like, you know, I like I have learned a lot about stimming in the past like couple months, and like I didn't realize I was doing it. Like I'm not on the spectrum, but I do have ADHD, so I guess technically I'm neurodivergent by like the current definition of being neurodivergent. Or like how people are using it now. I don't know. I still have some weird like my brain doesn't wrap around that. But anyways, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Um, but I did this thing, and it's so like to me it was always weird that I did it, but I've always done it. So it was like and even like because I do it, like now my little sister does it, and it's really interesting because like I don't even think she's like neurodivergent. I just think that she just started doing it because like I did it. But I would be like talking to someone or doing something or trying to like complete task, and which is always like a lot for my brain anyways. And then like the minute I would get out of the room, I would be like like it's so weird. It's so weird. But then I found out about like what stimming actually was, and apparently like a lot of people do like hand flapping. That's like a common like stim. And I was like, holy shit, like I've been doing this whole time. It's so weird when like you start to realize. that like maybe you're not so like weird and different after all.
Definitely. I mean, you're not alone in the things you do, you know. I sometimes happy dance, but it's probably not the same thing. I don't know.
I love that.
I see something that happened that's happy, and I'm like, so,
That
y'all.
that sounds just like good therapeutic dance. I mean, if you can't express yourself through dance, I mean, how are you even living? I can't relate.
Not everybody dances, but yeah,
um,
I
we I
do.
mean we all have our things, you know, and
Yeah,
especially on this channel of weirdos, you know. Divergent says, I was always yelled at for chewing on things growing up, and it was so compulsive I couldn't quit. Yeah, it's like if people ask me to stop like doing that like energy hand rubby thing, like I don't think like I just do like I've done it. Like I do it. I don't know why. Like now I guess I know why, but I didn't know before, and I didn't overthink it. But like, you know, I guess it's different when like you are like potentially like damaging something by chewing on it or something like that. Like I don't even think my parents knew that I had that habit, but like my little sister did, and so we would do it like together. So I would like come into her room and be like, and then she'd be like, "Yay!" And then she's like
cute.
9 years younger than me, so it
It's like a burst of happiness. I don't know
yeah.
what I
And
equated to.
yeah, I think it's more like it's not even necessarily like a happy thing. Like you can be like depressed and do it, which is a very weird thing. But like to me, it's weird. It doesn't make sense in my brain. But like it's more like I'm spending so much energy, or I'm holding back so much energy because I'm like hyperactive, like trying to like communicate, get my thoughts out, trying to do things in like any order. I'm holding back so much energy that that energy has to come out somehow, and that's how I like get it out is just by
Released.
rubby hands.
Interesting way of describing.
Yeah.
I get like very giddy and I just like do that one smile. I can't. Where is her? I'm not gonna do it because it's embarrassing. Because I'm like, "Mm." Like I literally make that face. I'm like, oh gosh.
I love that.
I don't know. Trying to make this little elefante.
Oh my gosh, that video you sent me of the peanut.
Oh my gosh, it does look like a poop though, right?
It does look like a
It does not look like poop.
yeah. And like it yeah, now I'm like, oh my gosh, should she make like a, what is it, like Mr. Hanky from South Park?
Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poop.
Um but like the thing is like because I was like, I wonder if you used a different color or something like that. The thing is like at the end of the day, peanuts are still brown. So like, you know, like you could do a potential shade change and it would just still kind of look like it. Now when you like squeeze it in the middle, it does look like more. Um
I'm thinking doing some decreasing in the middle section and then increasing and then going back down with single crochets and then doing the decrease for the tip. But it's really versus poop.
yeah. Honestly, like I mean, I I don't think that there's any way that you could not make it look like poop. I've thought through this so much in the past what 24 hours, and I'm like, you could put detail on it. You could put like a little different hash, but like the thing is like the crochet already has like texture, like creates a texture to it. So it already kind of has like a like the peanut shell like look to it. So, like the only thing I think would help was like context. Like if you put it like if you had like I don't know exactly what you're using the peanut for, but like let's say you were doing like a circus theme or something, like peanut would make more sense. Well, I mean, I imagine there's a lot of poop at circuses, but like you know what I mean, like with like an elephant and like a
Mhm.
peanut, like that would make
That's the context of the peanut too. Elephant.
mm,
It's
yeah,
supposed to go with an elephant,
yeah.
but
And
just by itself.
yeah, I think it'll look fine unless you like make it look like the planner's peanut and give it like a cane and top hat. I
It'll look like Mr. Hanky.
You're right.
Oh gosh.
Divergent says I get holding back energy, saying I gave my youngest a lesson in masking, not realizing it was masking. Yes, that's yeah, exactly. I didn't realize I was masking because I was doing it so naturally that it wasn't like an effort that I consciously did. I don't think, but I don't have a great memory, so who knows if I ever did it on purpose.
I have a terrible memory also, so who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't quite been able to like pinpoint why, and I think if they, for me, I think if they could figure it out, it might be able to like be treatable or something. But like with like the combination of like ADHD and PTSD, I guess your memory just becomes like Swiss cheese for some people.
Oh yay. Sorry. Not yay, but
I was like, well,
we.
that's an interesting response for sure.
I'm very sarcastic, my bad.
No, it's fine.
Or sardanic even. Like I'll be so sarcastic, my people around me will be like, "Did you mean it like for real?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
same. Like, I literally if like the people I've known for decades, you know, have are like still like are like, are you joking or not? We can't really tell. And and like sometimes I say something and like once I hear it come out of my mouth, I'm like, oh, that sounded sarcastic. I'm like especially with my wife, like I don't want her to think that I'm like trying to be like sassy when I'm really just trying to like communicate a sentence, like not in a sassy way.
I've been called sassy before.
Yeah.
I
And
might.
I'm like, I was like, that wasn't meant to be sassy. It just sounded like that. So I like try to like back up before, but like sometimes I don't realize it and put my foot in my mouth
Oh,
and
I do that. I do that plenty.
do that plenty.
I really do though.
Yeah.
Almost didn't put my stitch marker back out. I'm going crazy, freeballing it, just leaving stitch markers out.
I when I started this, I forgot to bring a stitch marker, so I just used a piece of yarn. But how I placed the yarn
London.
was like so confusing about where the actual first stitch was. I was like, I just have to get a stitch marker in this because tone policing ourselves. Yep, check. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like this mouth has a mind of its own, and it's not connected to the mind in my brain. And especially when I'm like already in a bad kind of like mood generally, just from like everything else going on. I was like, that's why I was like, we're keeping it easy breezy today because I was like, if anything pops off in the chat, I will not have any control over how I react, and I don't like being out of control in that aspect, or really most aspects.
Well, things are relatively chill, so
Yeah, for sure.
okay.
Yeah. I did make sure to go to Nightbot, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not in a good mood." And for some reason, Nightbot hasn't popped up yet, which I think is weird. But I did put a thing on Nightbot that was like, "Hey, usually we can talk about more serious topics, but today we're not doing that." I don't know.
It's three.
I wish I had a way to like automate this hacker process, but I don't.
How would you be able to like do it in parts?
I feel like if I was better at the knitting machine, I might be able to knit it. But one of the big things too with the knitting machine is because of how um, it just like it tends to stretch quite a bit.
Mm.
Um, so you kind of have to double layer everything. So like here's the happy pill I made, and I had to double up so you couldn't see through to all the polyfill. So and I'd have to do like increases and decreases, which I don't really. I've looked up how to do. I've tried to do. Didn't work well.
You
Like
can do
how the knitting machine
increases.
works is totally beyond my brain capacity.
You can do increases on there. Like, maybe okay. So with knitting, maybe you can grab one of the legs and pull it up onto the thing to do the increase. It sounds like knitting to me. So I
Yeah,
know it is knitting, but
yeah. So yeah, that's how you increase in theory. But like, there's something like so like I just don't really understand the mechanics of it. And like I said, I'm not in a place where like I could even if I wanted to. But like if you don't have something before it and you just like if you don't have a stitch before it, just like adding a stitch on, like it'll just fall off sometimes. And I'm like, why? Why can't you just accept that this is a stitch that we're adding and just use it? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. And then like when you're dropping stitches, like that is actually that's easier to me, but like there when you have your stitch, it's like the way that it loops into one another, it's like not necessarily the stitch you would think to take out would be the one to remove it. So I don't know. And then I would have to do it as a panel and which, wouldn't be the worst thing, but like getting like this exact shape, like getting, just like the shaft like that wouldn't be a big deal. But I mean, maybe that is the way that I can do it is like, I don't know, would that look weird if I had like a crocheted scrotum and then like a knit sack?
maybe you could make one piece, one part of it, and then sew it together,
Yeah.
and then add it later by sewing it.
Hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
it could probably be faster too
Yeah.
because you're paneling it. But then you can make the scrotum part a little bit wider
Hmm.
and shorter. Remember? I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, I think I started doing something where I was gonna do like an increase and then a decrease, and oh, I was gonna try to do a knitted knocker, but do it on the knitting machine, and that because like I was trying to like think of how I would make the shape, because like in knitting they use double pointed needles to like get down to like the nipple, right? And then in crochet we just do our decreases like normal people. We don't have to. That's actually the reason I stopped knitting is because I was tired of not being able to decrease like I wanted to. Like
Yeah,
it's so like it gets so complicated once you get to a point where like you need to like get gather things up.
yeah. Sometimes, well, I mean, thinking of the knitted knocker. Like maybe you could make it kind of like, you know how you make a pumpkin where you bunch everything together on the bottom and then you put the fiber and then you close the top.
Yeah.
But then for the nipple part, you could like whip stitch and then do like a, I don't know.
Yeah. So like I've seen people do stuff like that. But so one of my qualms was just like the pattern of the knitted knocker as is, which like it's done a lot of great things. So like don't think I'm knocking the knitted knockers.
That's a tongue twister.
And
I'm
it
not
also sounds very weird to say. um but like I don't like how like perfectly symmetrical it is.
mm,
Like because like the like and as someone who's larger chested, this is something I experience with bras, is like if you don't have like a bra that fits you right, you get that like gap right there in your bra.
mm,
And I always hated that so severely. So I wanted to like make more like design more of like a teardrop shape that was like 3D, and so my brain was like, and I was trying to do it on the knitting machine, and I was just like, ugh, this, because I wanted them to be gender affirming. I felt like it was more my duty to have them look more like authentic breasts
right.
than just be like a round insert that adds volume here, but not at the top. So it just kind of like comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, because breasts are. We could talk about breasts, right? Right. Here, right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'm not getting monetized anytime ever, so like it's fine.
Well, like they are more teardrop shaped, so it
Yeah,
makes sense to kind of do it like that.
yeah. And I mean, I understand like just the practicality of like how it would be easier to make something symmetrical and like just more like because basically it's well, it's kind of like an equilateral like triangle that's like kind of rounded that they
Yeah,
make, and I
I
just
have
wanted to
one.
make the top like
I
longer.
have one that I crocheted, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like a triangular shape.
Hmm.
The knitted knockers and the crocheted knitted knockers, which is kind of a weird way to say it.
I know, right? I'm always like, no, that
No,
doesn't
Brandon,
make
that's not right.
sense.
Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, they're triangular
Yeah,
and they have minimal raise. They're very flat, depending on how you stuff them, really.
yeah.
Because you could stuff it in a weird, like a shape, like a teardrop shape.
Hmm.
So I'm brain thinking, what? That's not.
Yeah. So like what I was gonna do is I was gonna make if I was gonna do it on um the knitting machine, I thought about how I would want to do it, and I would have to experiment with like lengths and widths and stuff. I was gonna make like a parallelogram, so that when I folded it, it was kind of like a longer triangle, and so the middle of the bottom of the triangle would be like the the nipple, and then I would have two smaller triangles, which would probably also be parallelograms, so that I could fold them and they'd be doubled up. Um, to like so it'd be like one big part at the top and then two triangles kind of creating the curvature of the bottom of the breast. So I've really thought a lot about this, but I can't do the increases or decreases on my machine. And I would like, well, like I mean, I could crochet them, but I'm trying to like cut down on time because then it'll cut down on costs.
It's
I
true.
can I can make things a lot easier for folks, but we're not there yet. And then I decided, well, what if I just try to do it with fabric? So fabric is my current option. But all of the patterns out there are the same as the knitted knockers, where they're just kind of like the same kind of shape all around. And I don't like that. I'm like, well, why hasn't anyone done something different?
We just accepted the the pattern and like the majority of people, but
Yeah.
I think it's
I
good
do
to
not
be
accept.
different. I do
Yeah.
not accept. I unaccept. What's that? Revoked. I don't know. Words.
I decline.
Decline. Thank you. That's corrector. That's, but are there videos you could find or watch where they show the increases? I don't know.
So there are videos on increases and decreases. But like I said, I can watch it. I I can't do it.
So they're
I mean,
videos.
I'll probably get there eventually, but like right now I'm not there.
You're honing your skills, so it's you know what I mean.
Yeah.
One
It's
thing at a
like
time.
it's hard to see because like well, it's not like that hard to see, but it's one of those things where like when you watch like when you watch things come to people so naturally and then they don't come naturally at all to you and you're like am I broken?
It's
Like
also teaching style, though. It's not like you're not broken. You're learning. Come
yeah,
on.
like I don't like yeah, I mean I just got to the point where I could do panels and I do my panels different than other people seem to do theirs.
Where you put
So
it on the, I was watching you. You put it like underneath the
yeah,
thing, and then you go back and forth, which
yeah.
it seems to work. So
Yeah. Well, one of the things, so what happened with that? Because they're always like this peg right here, and I'm like, what fucking peg? They all look the same, and then
the
you cover
knitting
it up with
machine
your
videos are kind of hard to like see, though.
yeah.
That's what I'm
And I was
saying.
like, you're covering up with your finger. I do not know what you're talking about. If
Tutorials
that
be
means
like,
yeah. And
"Really?"
I mean some people do really great tutorials and I'm not dissing them, but like it didn't make sense to me what was happening. And so a lot of people like so I have a Centro 48 and I have a 22 Addy. And the Addy automatically goes 3 past when you're in panel mode and the Centro goes 2 past the peg you're trying to go in. And so all of the instructional videos I followed, they're like go 2 past, but then make sure this thing goes under the thing. And so I was dropping stitches all the time, and then my thing would unravel. And I was like, okay, well, that's not working. And then the first time I tried doing the panel on my Addy because it goes 3 past, it worked. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's just because people would be like, oh, you have to make sure it's extra tight, and like I'm like, but when but it's not. It's just not consistent. Like I need something that's consistent. So I do mine differently, and that's what works for me. So
Yeah.
apparently, my brain just is wired differently, which I don't think is a surprise to anyone.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's just harder to learn from like tutorials, I guess. But I really wish I did know what the fuck was going on with the knitting machine. Like
Yeah, so,
it
I don't know.
it really doesn't make sense to me. But
Does this look like a nipple?
like yeah, like a bottle nipple. Yeah.
It's supposed to be,
Hey.
and it's a. Oh shit! Sorry. It's supposed to be an elephant, okay?
What part of an elephant?
The little trunk.
Yeah, I mean I guess I could see it depending on how big your elephant is.
Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
It's supposed to look like this. Look, because we're talking about knitted knockers, and I'm like, does this kind of look like?
Yeah.
I'm trying to show you.
Oh my goodness, that's so cute.
I know, aren't they adorable?
Yeah.
Little
I
babies.
mean, I can see how it kind of does look like a nipple, but like once you put the ears on and the eyes on, like it won't.
We should be good.
Yeah. Otherwise, you could just have like a nipple-faced animal. Do you want to hear one of probably the most cringy things I've ever said to my wife? And
Yes.
and this is going to be
Yes,
a little
please.
little
No.
naughty for those people who don't like naughty things. Shut your ears for like 30 seconds. So, so I'm a big fan of my wife's body, you know, as most people who are in a relationship with someone, that's a part of
Yeah.
it. And I'm a big fan of, the thing that you might be making.
Oh,
And she was
oh,
like, would you rather me, this was very early on in our dating, and she was like, would you rather me lose my eyes or my nipples? And I was like, your eyes.
I almost lost my eyes right now laughing because my eyes hurt.
And like, do I love her eyes? Yes, she has big, beautiful blue eyes. But like, that's like saying like someone taking my life force. And she's like, oh my god, you're so stupid. But that's like over, we've been together for, so in June, well, I think is our 10-year um like no anniversary, like when we've how long we've known each other. And wait, is that right? Or is it 11 years? It's gonna be 11 years that we've known each other. And then, anyways, yeah, we might be coming on up on 10 years together in June. Anyways, but like, because it was so early on in a relationship, it comes up just so often. She's like, well, I can't trust your judgment. You'd rather me lose my eyes. And I'm like, if you knew what I was looking at and what I saw in them, you would have said the same thing.
Like hold against you, like, hey, remember when you said
Yeah.
that's 6 repeats? Okay, okay. I'm trying to like make the little face of this thing. I don't know. I make like pumpkins and things, and it just looks like boobs to me. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can't.
When it comes down to it, anything can look naughty. The thing
Yeah,
about me is I actually make naughty things. So it's like, it fits. But you're making something so sweet and innocent.
yeah. My little baby elephant.
That is a really cute pattern that you're going.
Isn't it? Sandrine found it. It's like a stitching together with friends pattern,
Oh.
and it's so cute. I like how it's like curving up.
Hmm.
I mean, it's so cute. Just looking at its little nose or nipple. I don't know. Now I have to count. I forgot how to count. Wait.
Story of my life.
5. Okay. That's a stitch right there. It's telling me to mark the stitches. Okay. Um, single crochet. Wait, that's the wrong round. How is that? Did I make a mistake? I probably made a mistake.
Story of my life.
Did I start?
If I talk while you're counting, will I mess you up?
No.
Okay, because I know it would mess me up. So I just wanted to ask. I did post something in Army of Weirdos. So I'm selling some nicer yarn that I got. I don't think I finished this thought when I started it earlier, because I remember saying the first part earlier, that I got from like my high school ex-girlfriend like 2 months ago. It was so weird. It was just a really random thing, but she's a knitter and she like is moving and like doesn't have room for all of her yarn anymore. So she was just like, "Hey, I see that you've made some things. Like, do you want this yarn?" And like, of course, I will never say no to that. But like some of the yarn, like it's it's the type of yarn that like because I use value yarn all the time, I'm just like not super comfortable using because like I'm afraid like I get such like paralysis in like deciding to make things when the yarn becomes more expensive. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but
It does.
and then also some of it was like really thin. Like there was some like lace weight, there's some fingering. Um, Which honestly, I don't know who decided that that would be a great name for a yarn sheet, but like I've never been
Yeah.
okay with it. Like I just feel like we need to just all address the elephant nipple in the room, which is it's weird. It is weird to call a yarn fingering weight. And then when you have baby yarn and it's fingering baby yarn, that's
No, it's too far.
That's so gross. And I can't unthink it. I can't unsee it in my mind's eye. And I'm like, who, why, why? Like, if I made yarn, I would bump up the yarn thickness just so I didn't have to say those things in conjunction.
What's the other? You just call it size 1 or size 2 yarn instead.
Yeah.
But whoever named all of the crochet terms was kind of probably perverse anyway. Because
Yeah. Well, we are a bunch of hookers, so it makes sense.
exactly.
But yeah, that's one thing that I'm just like, ugh. It's when I started crocheting, and especially because like I grew up thinking I was a lesbian, so like that's like you're speaking my language. and then and then I see that and I'm like, huh, okay. Y'all didn't think this through.
So you're trying to sell size 1 yarn.
Yeah, so I have like so lace weight, I have zero, I've got the fingering weight, I've got like literally I mean most of it's thinner. Then one is a light 3, and I like it, but, like, honestly, like, I think there's someone who just would appreciate it more, like, I like frog so much because 'cause I'm always, like, losing my attention and stuff that, like, I don't use a lot of wool because, obviously it tends to be a little bit more challenging, to frog, so I tend to not, like, use a lot of wool, plus, like, just with the fact that people are allergic to it, some people are. I just kind of try to stay away from it generally, and and so yeah, a lot of it's like nicer, like wool blends or totally like 100% superwash. And I'm just like, I'm never gonna use this, so let me just like see if someone will like it and I can make some money because also I don't really have much room for yarn anymore.
What are you trying to sell it for? Have you like did you bundle it? Or are you trying to sell it individually?
So if I had duplicates, I'm selling all of these together. Um, like one of them, she bought enough yarn to make a blanket with, so she bought 11 skeins of one color, and it's super bulky, and it's from Knit Picks, so the ball is like, I think it's a 100-gram ball, but it's
Yeah.
super bulky, so it's only like 75 yards or something. Um, and
Knitpicks is a good brand. It's probably expensive.
yeah, so I think that yarn was I don't I don't I don't even remember. That was like a super wash and acrylic mix, I think. But yeah, so like I'm trying to find the yarn online and then I'm selling it at 25% of what people are charging online. But I'm also making people pay for shipping because
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, like, I'd love to just like roll up a price, but like I legitimately have no idea how much it would cost me to send that. But and then if it's like non-domestic, that's even more. So
Wine, yarn. Weight. I was gonna say weight. It adds up. So
yes,
the more it's, the more you put in the box, the more the shipping is going to be. It makes sense to have that person pay for the shipping.
yeah. I think when I sent, so I did a box, I did a giveaway of yarn, and I think that the box might have weighed, I want to say like 6 to 8 pounds or something like that, and shipping was like $24 domestically. Hey, Winter. I
Hey,
feel like I
Winter.
said that weird. Winter, Winter. I was like Winter. Sorry about that. My brain is like,
It's a soft wah,
well,
and you're like, I feel the same way though. Do you ever like? Do you ever go back and replay like your own whatever you said, and you're like, why did I say that?
sometimes I
I
try
do.
not to rewatch anything that I do because I it's so cringy to
I
me,
meant
like
like
to
in
watch.
your own head.
Yeah, but I do know that like my mouth is kind of free flowing. Look, Nightbot finally showed up. Um, and
Hold on, give me 1 second. My person's my little dude walked in. Hold on.
totally forgot what I was saying too. You asked me something and I totally forgot what it was.
I Because I'm like, I don't know. I forgot to. I lost my train of thought when my kid walked in. I was like, what do I what? Um, no, I was. What did I
I
ask?
think, oh, we were talking about shipping and how crazy it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then like one time I was gonna send Winter something, and Winter has told me that like Canadian shipping is so expensive, like it's cheaper to send stuff from Canada to the US than within Canada,
Really?
because like I
Oh,
guess Canada Post, and Winter, correct me if I'm wrong. But like Canada Post is so expensive because I guess like Canada's not as like densely populated throughout. I don't know. Winter explained it in a way that made sense. I'm really trying to recall anything, and nothing's happening.
well, yeah. If you could keep it within the states, the lower 48 or whatever, I
Hmm.
think it'd be better
Yeah.
for.
I mean,
Well,
if
I
they're
mean,
paying
don't
for
limit
shipping,
yourself
I don't care. Like, I
or
mean,
whatever
if
they're
if
paying.
if they're willing to, but like on Etsy, because you have to give like a estimate beforehand. I'm like, I'm not even gonna pretend to like. I don't know how much international shipping is, and I don't even know how to estimate it. Like, because every country's different, right? So like, how
Hmm.
do you? I saw on my Etsy, I only ship.
You
Um,
just have to like weigh it, and it should be weight and size of package. You should be fine.
yeah,
That's why Etsy's pretty nice about. You don't have to like worry too much about what you're doing other than just making it. Etsy calculates all that for you, fortunately. Definitely.
yeah,
That's what Winter
that
said.
is nice, and I do like that it is cheaper to ship on Etsy than it is through USPS. But
That's I was reading what
oh,
said.
Etsy calculates. Okay, so see, so I guess my problem is that I try to do free shipping on Etsy because I know for me personally, like if I see something with free shipping,
Yeah.
I am more likely, if even if it's the exact same amount total,
Hmm.
if I see something and then it's like $5.99 shipping, I'm like, fuck this. I don't put it in my cart. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah,
That was a whole thing with like Etsy a few years back where it's like if you're selling something for $35 or more, you should be offering free shipping. And I'm like, it's nice though, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
both ways. It
I,
depends.
I think it's something like psychological that like if we get free shipping, like we're willing to spend more
Hmm.
money. Um, so like I try to keep all my shipping free, so that's why I don't do any international stuff.
Yeah, you just try to add that to the cost a little bit to like help yourself kind of,
Yeah,
hopefully.
I definitely add in the cost of shipping. But
Yeah.
that's why I can't. My voice is like, fuck you, bitch.
I mean, it's good you're hydrating. I haven't even drank anything.
Yeah.
What is water? Where are you?
Yeah. I'm
Usually
so
have
bad about drinking and or eating. Um,
should have
but
water
yeah,
around here.
it just like, but it's like it's so different everywhere else. I wouldn't even know how to include shipping into my costs if I shipped internationally.
Yeah. I mean,
But
if you wanted to, like if you have PayPal and stuff, PayPal will calculate that for you as well after you do your final invoice. You could be like, okay, but make sure you let them know. Obviously, you would, but they're paying for shipping, so
yeah,
it's going to be more expensive. They have to pay for the duties.
yeah. And like Etsy has like a lot of like pros, right? Where like one, like it can do the shipping for you, and then two, you do get a discounted like USPS rate, and then also you get more exposure than you do on like most other places to
Hmm.
list things, but they take out such a huge portion.
Hmm.
It is crazy.
Yeah, and then they do the percentage. I don't know how much it is, but they also do the 20 cents re
Hmm.
um, re what's it called?
Renew or whatever,
Renewal. Yeah,
or
the renewal
relist,
fee thing.
relist. Yeah, it's like it's like just like just keep on chipping away at what I have to charge. Um, but yeah, so it's like hard to. And what I really dislike too about Etsy, if I could just rant for like a second, um, is like also like I remember when Etsy like was like newer, it was
Mhm.
about like handmade items and stuff like that. And now there are so many mass produced items masquerading as handmade items in there that like it's really
No,
hard to tell. So like people who want like go to Etsy because they want to buy handmade, like they don't even know if they're getting handmade.
I know, like drop shipping and reselling and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's branched out for sure, and what it allows and what it doesn't. Yeah, it's drop shipping. I mean, there's nothing wrong with drop shipping, but yeah, it is known for its handmade. I don't know.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
because like the reason I mentioned that $35 free shipping thing is because they were like giving people more face time if they put free shipping on their items,
Oh,
and
really?
they were making the algorithm favor people who were giving free shipping out during that whole time. Like when I was doing research, I found that out. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Shelby, you want to come on camera? You can come on camera. See if I can get my cat up here. Yeah. Come here. He's like, just come here, bitch.
Are
Oh,
there like duties
boy.
and fees that you have to pay in Canada? That's a big kitty.
Yeah, he's very long and very fat.
He's like, what are you calling me fat for, bro?
I mean, like
Bro,
the body don't lie. The body don't lie.
I'm fluffy. Yeah, exactly, Winter. I'm fluffy.
Yeah, I can feel every meal you've ever eaten in your tummy.
No, no, no. So cute. Bye.
He's got that like really fine hair that just like floats off and like gets into your
I wish
eyeballs.
you could spin cat hair. I'm sure that would be so cool.
I know that there is a book on felting cat hair.
Mm, that's cool.
I wonder if you could felt it and then spin it. I don't know if that. I don't.
I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
sure you could like mix it with other fibers, like blend it
Hmm.
or card it.
Yeah, there's a whole book on it. I saw someone. It's like crafts with cat hair or something. I'll find it on Amazon because I've seen it. I saw it like years ago.
Genius. It's
And I
like
saw,
genius.
yeah, when I was watching like Simply Nailogical back in the day. Um, um, she is pretty obsessed with her cats. Um, so she did some of like the felting.
I'm allergic to cats, but it won't stop me from like being all kitty.
My dad's super allergic too, and he is. So here's a link. Oh my gosh, it's so long. I hate that. I hate that so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so furious. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love that for you. It's just like you
Like
can't
it's like
see.
how you can tell if someone's old is they post a link like that.
Well, you can't see that it's that long on the
Yeah.
screen. It just looks like one thing, but on our side, that's what is that? That's like
Let
30
me
lines.
oh gosh.
Uh,
Okay, let me
uh,
copy the link. I can't I when as soon as it went through I was like, ugh. I am a holosexual. Okay, so there's the short link, which is far different. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened.
it
But
looks
also, so it's crafting with cat hair. Um, and it is, got a lot of things in it. And then here's some additional books. Here, cat hair hats for cats. So you make a
Ooh.
hat out of cat hair and you put it back on your cat. And then here's 101 ways to know if your cat is French.
If your cat is French, oh, I love that.
And it's a cat in a beret holding a wine bottle in front of the Eiffel Tower. And then this next one is my favorite: how to talk to your cat about gun safety.
It's so cute. I can't.
Sixel design book. It's fantastic. Yes, I have a couple Sixel designs. I've only started one, but like they're so good. Like Mosaic takes me forever and a day, but like just like the stuff that Sixel puts out are like it's amazing. I'm so glad you got the book. I can't think of a better person to like have that book and make beautiful stuff. So can't wait to see what you make.
I'm trying to find my little mosaic thing, but I don't know where I put it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're doing the same
Oh,
mosaic pattern.
yeah, I wanted to show you. But I
I've got
don't
mine right here.
know where I put it. No, I'm dropping everything. I'm so good at putting things where they should go.
Yeah. Same. I now have books on my yarn bookshelf thing. So let me go get the book my sister got
I tried. I did a 360. I tried.
me. Ooh, the in chains pattern. Ooh, that's cool. So if you do it in the round, well, I guess if you're just using like 2 colors or something, then like you wouldn't really have to worry about ends. But I'm changing colors like every row. So I have all of those ends that I will never weave in.
Never.
The
Excuse me.
Ah,
Bless you. Bless thee.
I know, thank you. I don't know where yeah, I've just been cleaning too much. That's what I get for but yeah, so my sister got me the Crochet World of Creepy Creatures and Cryptids. This book's been out for a while, and I mentioned to her that I wanted it, so she bought it for me for Christmas. I've made nothing out of it, um, and like now there are other books that I want more, and I'm like, man, I wish I could.
But you will one day.
Yeah, I just don't
Okay.
read. I kind of like having like digital patterns. I just to me they're so much easier. Because then I don't have to. I lose them less. I can lose a book like nobody's business.
I can lose a digital pattern like nobody's business. Oh my goodness.
I just keep everything saved in my documents folder and then know what to search for sometimes, or just keep scrolling. I got this book when I started crocheting because I was like, everybody makes granny squares. I'm gonna make granny squares. And then I actually really hate making granny squares. So now I'm like, what the fuck do I do? Maybe I'll sell this book too. It's the Granny Square Stitch Guide. And I don't think anything here is like particularly like revolutionary. Is this the lark stitch? It says teardrops, but like that looks like mixed domestics.
It
Middle
looks like the
finger.
upside down person giving you the finger.
Yeah,
That's
right.
I call that the FU stitch. I really do. Or a thumbs up. It's all
Yeah,
about perspective, how you're
you could
feeling
tell the
about
person
something.
it was thumbs up, but it really is middle finger. But like, yeah, so this is, but they just say teardrops. There's nothing teardrop shape about it. I don't. Have they ever seen a teardrop? Have they ever even cried?
Do they even know sadness? Like,
Do they cry to themselves to sleep every night like me? No.
I love you.
I have a big bookshelf, but almost no crochet books. I would think 6 is my only crochet book. Yeah, I have one knitting one that's like learn how to knit, and then uh, which is how I relearn how to knit. And then I got one with just a bunch of stitches in it, which I bought when I was going to treatment because I knew I wouldn't have like access to the internet. And I was like, how do I crochet without the internet?
How do you crochet without the internet? Because you got your patterns on the internet, online, right?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Or I have them saved on my phone, and we didn't even have like access to our phone.
I
But
have
yeah.
this. Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So it's my mood blanket. I haven't been great about updating it, but clearly
I really
I
love
started
that.
this years ago. But it's the same exact stitch you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
where you like alternate. Here's the back.
Uh-huh.
Because I didn't really want to do a temperature blanket because I don't really go outside, so why would I care? um,
Mhm.
but and also like I felt like that was like committing to something where I can decide when I want to stop crocheting with this. So
I've never done a temperature blanket either.
I feel like this would be a good like I want it to be a good like lapkin. Lapigan.
Ooh.
How do you say that word? Lapkin?
Lapgan?
Lapgan. That
Like
makes more sense.
Afghan, but
Yeah. Lap,
Lapgan,
Lapgan. Yeah.
I
Okay. Yeah,
think.
that makes sense. But I honestly hate making all blankets. Maybe
Yeah, me
blankets
too.
don't bother me that much, but I lose interest. I don't want to do the same thing
Yeah.
over and over again.
It's there's not enough like what is it, instant gratification with
Yeah,
a blanket. It's
yeah.
too
Give me that dopamine.
yeah. One stitch, it's not cutting it.
Yeah.
200 stitches. I'm dying inside. Stop this torture. I don't like blankets. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't either. I like some people like there was a person in a crochet group that I'm in they were like, should I make this blanket pattern that was like the flower puff stitch one, which is really cute. Um, and then the other one was a bag made out of granny squares. And I don't like granny squares either, but the bag you get over with faster. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, it just depends on how long you want to spend on your next project to me. But they said it would be about the same time. And I was like, I can't relate to that.
I
I don't know
mean,
if I've ever finished a blanket that is like adult human size.
I think I finished one. I've made 2 blankets before. I think I'm turned off from blankets because I don't know. I made my nephew a blanket once, and my sister had to cut it off of his foot. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what happened?
I was dumb, and I made it very open. It was an open concept blanket.
Yeah.
It was too open of a stitch, and I didn't think like it would, you know, just never make stuff with chains to give to a newborn baby. It's what I learned from that situation.
Mm.
She's like, I had to cut it off of his foot, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Like, I'm dirt. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Live and
Like
learn.
I've thought about that. Even with like a granny stitch blanket, I'm always like, but like once their little toes get stuck in, but a lot of people really like um the big order I got, so made me regret my life. It was beautiful though. Yeah, I bet. Um
I think I have to
yeah,
show you out.
I don't. I can't. Um I couldn't do it when I was knitting. I can't do it when I'm crocheting.
Wait, you can't do what? Sorry, I
Make a
was
blanket.
sharing you. I forgot to share you
Oh, thank you.
because I'm
That's
in
really
here.
sweet. I never ask people to
Sometimes I
because
forget.
that's not my style, but I appreciate it.
I,
Um,
I forgot. Okay. Cut me slack. No, I'm just kidding. You're
I was like,
totally.
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, no, I know. I was kidding. I was just kidding.
We're both so anxious. We're like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, so even granny stitch, I feel kind of weird about, but a lot of people really like them. So I'm like, okay, it's your
I
blanket and
like
your child.
I
Um,
like me a good granny stitch because it's fast.
mhm,
But I don't know if I like granny squares.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
too
I
much
mean, I know that there are
weaving.
so many cool ones, and I did post a. I think I've posted a couple things in Army of Weirdos that hey Kiwi, um,
Hi, Adrian.
couple things where I'm like, this is a granny square I would actually like to make. This is actually really cool.
Yeah,
But
there are some.
most of the time, I'm like, nah. Like that one that looks like Rainbow Super Mario Fire. I was like, that's cool.
Oh yeah,
I
the
wouldn't make it, but it looks cool.
solid.
I
Then
like
the
Granny Square, not the Granny Stitch. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, to each their own, for sure.
my granny on the granny stitch.
You can do the squares, I'll do the stitch. But when I was making my corner to corner baby blanket, which I had so much fun making, and honestly, that is such a fast stitch once you get the hang
Corner to
of it.
corner.
Yeah. And and but like I was afraid that some of the holes were too big, and like I was afraid of like baby toes or fingers getting stuck in it. And
You
so
thought
people
ahead of
did.
before me because I didn't even cross my mind.
Hmm.
But yeah, sorry.
No. Well, I mean, you live and you learn, right?
Yeah, but it was like a blanket geared toward babies too. So I was like, yeah, it's a baby blanket. Yeah,
I don't even know if I'm gonna do like I was doing like custom commissions for like baby blankets and other things, but like there's so much of a headache with like commissions when people are like people just do not realize how much thought goes into like making something. And even
Mm-hmm.
down to like they might be like, I want a yellow and blue blanket. And it's like, okay, well, like now I've got to think about fibers. I've got to think about where I'm going to buy it from. I've got to think about what yellows you like and what blues you like. So I'm going to show you like 50 different types of
Mm-hmm.
yarn, tell you the pros and cons of each. And then they're like, actually, could I just buy the yarn myself and you make it? And you're like, I spent so much time on this just trying to make you
And
happy.
you don't even charge for that time that you spend on it, too. Give me one
Exactly.
second.
Look at that beautiful hat. Yes, it is a awesome hat. I think you missed it, Kiwi, but I was like talking like I was like so happy about that hat. Like it looks so good on Crystal, fits perfectly. Like we were talking about how hard it is when you have like a lot of hair, you have very curly hair, finding like the hats. Oh yeah, and what pattern would look great with that? You're totally right, Winter. Like, oh my gosh, like literally, like if they give you free, like I did when I did the like harness commission, like she gave me a lot of like free reign, which was nice. But then like it was like I kind of wanted to like build it on her and yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do. And like with Etsy, now you can only do two options. You used to be able to do like as many as you wanted, and now you can only do two options, which I find personally a little annoying, but whatever. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
size and color for sure.
You're talking about my hat. I
Yeah.
was listening.
Hmm.
She made it for me.
Yeah,
I like it. It's so cute.
it's so cute. It looks so nice on you.
Thanks.
Um, but yeah, like I just like I I feel like commissions more times than not, if they're not like really flexible with what you do, if they don't want you to have like artistic like creativity, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like I just kind of don't even want to take them anymore. It's just not worth it. Like I had a friend and like she like does want to get this from me eventually, but I don't think she understood like how much they would actually be because she was seeing a lot of people wearing like crocheted pants and
Mm.
it was just like a half double or a double crochet. It wasn't anything fancy, and she's very slender, so like it wouldn't be a lot of like fitting or anything like that. Like nothing fancy, just like straight down. And and so like we try to like I was like, okay, well like because you want pants. I was like, when during the year do you want to wear these pants? Like, do you want them to be
Mm-hmm.
like anytime potentially pants, or do you want them to be like a
For warmth.
yeah?
Yeah.
But like even if like it's for warmth, like I would never make pants out of acrylic yarn. Like I would never. But acrylic is so much cheaper than everything else. So like I was like, we're probably gonna be looking at cotton, and so like um yeah, sometimes I can hate working with a yarn. I put it in a knitting machine and I'm like, wow, this is a dream. Sometimes it's totally the opposite. Um,
Oh, this yarn? You hated this yarn until you put it in the knitting machine? Because she made a poncho and sent it to me too. Hold on, wait, let's show.
oh my gosh.
I can totally open this correctly.
The way you say that, I have scratchy pants instead of fancy pants. Oh my gosh, that's intense. I love that. Oh, that looks amazing. Yeah. Also, I live in the South. It doesn't really get that cold here. So, like, crocheting and selling stuff is always.
It's like I'm hugging her. Okay.
That's so cute. Um,
It wasn't scratchy to me because she said it because it's a mohair, and the first thing she said was it's scratchy, and I'm like, it's not. It's so soft and delicate, and I love it.
yeah. I don't know what type of wool I'm allergic to, or if it was just that particular yarn that I used for the uh, rib cage commission. But I was so allergic to it, like just like moving it around, like just the little particles in the air. I was like, and like my
Oh
fucking
no!
nose was
Oh
like
no!
my nose and my eyes were just like itchy and draining and like okay. Bye winter. Bye
Hi,
winter.
Winter.
Yeah, I've been there. Let's see what there's one in particular that I don't like crocheting with, but I do like the machine. I've heard that scarfy yarn is really good
Oh
on
yeah.
a knitting machine. I don't love using it, but I think it's just because I've had so many. I like when I started, it was kind of that like I feel like people don't really talk about scarfy anymore. Like people use it, but I don't feel like people talk about it that much because like we've all heard the same things over and over again. I know it's like a fairly reliable yarn,
Mm.
but like when I started, in theory, um, but when I started, I obviously made more mistakes, even more mistakes than I do now, and tried to frog the scarfie, and I couldn't. Also, I was knitting, and I don't even know how. Like, I don't like. I don't know if you can like actually like just frog a couple rows of knitting. I don't know how that works. Like knitting doesn't make any sense to me.
It just stays open, like the stitch is still usable and open.
Hmm.
Because like knitting is just looping. You're looping and looping and looping.
Yeah. Well, it's super easy
And
to drop stitches because like the minute that you stretch anything like widthwise or lengthwise, that stitch gets pulled down. And so like that's why with the drop stitch bag it works because you purposely drop stitches so that you can
that
get
bag
those
is so nice too. Sorry.
it
About
like it
the bag.
stretches so much. At first I was like, I wonder if anyone would actually like this as a market bag.
No,
But
it's so
like
cool.
I'm glad it took so many tries. I had so many misfires with that pattern, but I felt
Yeah.
really good about it because like all the things I had seen about drop stitches, like no one had done anything quite like that. So it's like it looks like mesh. Makes me think market bag.
Invented. It does. I like I don't know if you've seen like those what are they called? They're like Franken market bag.
Mm.
Do I have one? No. Oh, I dropped my mic. I'm trying to look around, but there's just something about a mesh bag that it's just really good for carrying things like groceries, and it stretches
Mhm.
out so well. Can you hear me? I dropped the mic. Probably on the floor. You hear it bumping on things. I'm so professional. I'm sorry.
I somehow dropped a stitch or some. I don't know. I've done this row like 4 times, and I keep having to frog back like 3 rows. I must have just like dropped a stitch or something.
It's
That's
because we're talking. Did you lose a stitch?
I think so. I have been counting because like I make these all the time and I never have problems. So I didn't count. I'm gonna frog back a little bit further because maybe that's where the problem is.
I'm trying to put this ear onto this elephant, but I've never made it before, and I have no idea which way and direction it's supposed to go in.
Mm.
So I'm just staring at it like I
Is the shape different on the top and the bottom?
don't know. So
I guess that would make sense if it was, but
yeah, it is. So there's like It kind of has more of a curve and then it drops down.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure like it'll look good either way.
Right.
And it
Like,
might not be comforting at all, but like I get to a
that's,
point where
that's
I
also
get
thank
like a
you.
mean
I'm just
case of the
kidding.
pockets.
Fucking like, yeah, I think it'll look fine either way, but
Yeah,
I'm overthinking it.
no.
Where am I? I don't know where my scissors are.
I've I either have always have so many scissors on my desk or I have none. It's like there's no in between.
It's funny. It's like I have too many, put them away, can't find them. I don't know.
Kiwi asks if that is the one from DIY Fluffies, the love elephant.
Um, Let me find the pattern and I'll show it to you.
Crystal was
Well,
over here crocheting poop earlier.
look, man. Okay. It's shit now. It's supposed to be. Let me. There.
Wait, are they three elephants on top of each other?
No, it's like one single elephant, and she made it in different sizes and stacked them on top of each other to show.
Oh, okay. I was like, that is a commitment to the bit for sure.
Mm,
It looks like the part that curves less is on top, doesn't
you,
it?
do you see my phone camera acting funky and weird? What's that about?
It's like a little rave, little mini rave.
But yeah, so I have to. Actually, that's smart. I can look at the ears on the ones that are finished to see how to put them on.
Yeah,
And they look the same. They look the same.
yeah, it's by DIY Fluffies. They are the ones that have the bat pattern I was using for
Oh,
stream all. Ooh, if you want to share that pattern here or on the Facebook group, you're welcome to because I love
gotcha.
bats. Furls has a free um, bat pattern. It's definitely bigger than that elephant is.
I'll look for the bat pattern. Let
For
me
some
see.
reason, you can't. If you go on the Furls website, you can't find it. Like you can't search for it. But if you just are on Google and you type in Furls um, bat pattern, it comes up. And I made this a couple years ago. I would suggest using a stiffer yarn than I did because I used like Simply Soft and it just didn't. There is not a 10-page long link.
Click. I hope it
This one's so cute.
doesn't take me out of here. Click. Click. I can't click it from here. That's nice. Let me click it from here.
I'll send it to your Facebook.
I got it. I clicked it on my phone because I'm on my phone.
Nice.
Ooh, they're trying to advertise toward me. No, stop.
Oh,
That's cute.
I meant to post on the Facebook. Michael's is having everything full price is 40% off,
Hmm.
which is like the best deal I think Michael's has. So I usually
Temptation,
don't shop at Michael's because their deals aren't as good as Joann's to me, and
right?
none of the yarn speaks to me so much where I feel like I have to use it over anything from Joann. But I
I'm
thought that was a pretty good
find,
deal.
trying to find your live so I can drop the link. So apparently I have two phones in my hand.
Oh, I didn't notice your phone case.
This one?
Oh, the one with the flash symbol. Okay, let me get the bat pattern. Oh, I
That
can't click
should
on it
be if
either.
that's the right one.
Wait, do I want to start it? Do I want to show it?
Just showed them I'm wrong. Dude, because there's no real like explanation as to which way direction you're supposed to sew it on. That is cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. I feel like the feet could be different, but you know, it is what it is. Because they're just like loops. Um,
Yeah, they are. Oh, that's funny.
but yeah, when I like if you use like a yarn that's a little bit stiffer, like something like Simply Soft or something like that. Not Simply Soft, Super Saver. Like I feel like it actually would you'd be able to get like that like nice curl look and then have it extend out. Mine kind of are somewhere in between the two because it's just not a firm yarn. I gave very strong Italian hand on that. I was like a firm yarn.
Mm. Do you see this little face is so cute?
Oh, it's so
Why is
cute.
it so cute?
Yeah, I have a
It's
like
like,
a bright purple, bright green one. But I might let us go because my throat is very tired from talking.
oh,
I know it's fine. But yes, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thank you, Crystal, for coming up and keeping
I
me
had fun. Thank you for
sane-ish.
having me. Thank you for having me. I had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, talk to everyone later. Bye.
Bye.